guys, and welcome back to our White Tigers Rising series here with the Truro City Football Club. We are here at the end of April in our next to last episode of the season. And as you can see, we've faded a little bit here. So we're in 12th on 56 points. We're 9 points back from the playoffs. We did get all the way up to 7th, 1 point out at one point in this stretch of episodes. Unfortunately for us, we sort of got winged up between suspensions and injuries, especially across the defensive, the back four. And unfortunately, it just took its absolute toll on us. We ended up getting battered in a bunch of games. The last game of this stretch, the Walsall game, we finally got everybody healthy again, and we went back to doing what we do. Which was nice to see, but unfortunately it tells me we're a little too sensitive at the moment, especially defensively, which is setting me up for having to do some thinking for the summer. I do believe we're going to give Stuart Brown the starting center back position next to Alex Finney in there, and then Borthwick Jackson will be the backup, and we're going to see if we can move along William de Havilland, because he's really not doing anything for us, and I'd like to liberate his spend space to help kind of find a really good center back, and then we're going to need a backup right back and left back in there because we're really thin at those spots, and that was part of what was causing us some trouble. Although Borthwick Jackson is probably a better left back than a center back, and I'd be content to let him be our backup left back because Jack Penny certainly knows how to get himself yellow cards out the yin-yang. So we may do that. I have some thinking, but nonetheless, our focus is really going to be the back four, and then filling in with some backups and looking for some well-valued youngsters that we can kind of bring in to fill up the under-21s and the under-18s for the future. So let's just jump in here and take a quick look. So squad-wise, Furness has got 20 goals, Jack Dunn with 15, Callum Robinson with 14. So we're getting really good offensive production there. Zach Durnley up to 13 assists, Furness with 12, Holmes with 12, Dunn with 11. So we're getting great production. Furness is still our lead man on that one. And then Jack Dunn with the 7.5 has been our best man in the last 5 games. So overall, things are going pretty well. We're just a little too sensitive to the right team being out there. So that's it for the intro, guys, and I'll see you in the first highlight. Okay, guys, so this is the Preston North End game. This was the first of the episode, the first of the series. We had everybody in and healthy, and we did what we needed to do. We came in here, we got the job done. We managed to get in and nail ourselves down a 2-0 victory. Again, a game, we got what we deserved out of it. We were better than Preston. We earned the victory. We played really, really well, and Callum Robinson did fantastically in this one. So, first goal, again, a nice open play. The roaming playmaker is doing really nice for us, and Robinson's showing that all he needs is a little bit of space in there. So, I think we're tempted to leave between Black and Robson what we got going on there from the roaming playmaker space. I think I'm inclined to leave the midfield alone. Going into next season. So Sharp, again, we're using the width really nicely. Ben Holmes gets out there. Robson's out in front of his man on a great run. Holmes picks him out with a beautiful cross. We nail in the second one early, and we didn't look back. I'm very comfortable relying on our defense when the right defensive unit is out there. So Arnold Alexander, Finney, Borthwick Jackson, and Penny or Stuart Brown at center back are just dynamite as a back four. It's when we have to take one or multiple of them out, and as you can see, both Borthwick Jackson and Penny are card magnets, which has cost us in this particular sequence of episodes. So that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next highlight. Okay, guys, so we're back here for the Birmingham City game, and unfortunately this was always going to be a really tough game. We're playing against top-of-the-table Birmingham at this one, and I think we gave them a good run for their money. I think we played well. They were effective on this one. They were better overall. They didn't have much of the ball, but they were better with what they had. Again, you could see the frailty. So Finney went down injured in this game. We had Stuart Brown out there, Borthwick Jackson covering for Penny, who was out on a 3-game suspension from yellow card accumulation. He was up to 15 on the season, which is disappointing to say the least. So they got it. Jordy Hiwola, I guess, in the second minute got out and running. Throw in, set piece, we fall asleep, a really nice weighted pass, and he just beats the center back pairing there and buries it in the back of the net. In the 35th minute, they managed to go 2 before we got the bleeding to kind of stop. Again, this that sequence there is more or less what you saw over and over and over again in this game, and then he obviously pops it around the keeper and drops it in because his composure is fantastic. And is able to handle the one-on-one in there. We did manage to claw one back. Danny Sharp got one back in the 73rd on a bit of a melee here from a corner kick, which gave us a little hope. So we turned up the pressure and pressed the issue, and I think we closed the gap in terms of shots much more at the end of the game than we probably deserved to in there. So we dropped it. We had a bit of a makeshift unit out there, and unfortunately, we just couldn't get the job done. So that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next highlight. Okay, guys, so this was the home game against Swindon. So this was, again, a really tough game. Swindon are up at the top, and they really put it to us. It was a bit more even in terms of overall possession and play, but again, very much like Birmingham, they were better than us, and they really put it to us. We made a little bit of a run at it late, and unfortunately, I think we left it too late to kind of get back into the game. As you can see, a real makeshift side. We had some real youth products in there that aren't really good enough for this, and they just couldn't hack it at this particular level. So disappointed on this one. So Jordan Pataka gets it opened up for them in the 17th. Again, nice open play goal, and he just charges himself in over and over again. Willis is just getting used as a wall, and just the ball batted off of him. We can't clear it out, and Bataka finally on the third shot clears it into the net. We did claw one back here in the 51st minute, which gave me a little bit of hope. Unfortunately, we didn't get just a great shot in there from Robinson. We didn't really make the adjustments fast enough, which is disappointing in there. So they peg us back, about 15 or 20 minutes later here. Again, a bit disappointing, to say the least, in there. Again, just good individual efforts, but bad back line in there. And then in the 83rd minute, they go 3-1 up, which is pretty much the end of the affair. Again, a good pass in there. It gets just Willis can't hold on to it, and it's right back in Preen's feet, and he buries it in the back of the net. Definitely unlucky on there. Durnley gets us another one back here off of the throw-in. Again, just too little, too late. Black gets a good shot. Durnley gets a shot in and then catches a rebound of his own. So a lot of rebounds in this one, but unfortunately just too little, too late in here, and we end up dropping points to another good side. So that's it for this highlight, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, guys, so this was the road game at Port Vale Stadium against Port Vale, and the little black cloud that is following us around, unfortunately, continues to follow us. This one hurt a lot because we went out 1-0 before halftime. We saved a penalty after the half, and then gave up 2 goals in quick succession at the very end of the game under intense pressure from Port Vale to drop this game. So really kind of hurt. This one really hurt. Again, a makeshift back line. We got picked apart at the left back position a bit because we didn't have any real replacement there with everybody out on injuries and cards. We just really didn't have anything going for us. We tried, but this one was just no good. So Callum Robinson, and at least we're getting really scoring from him. He and Jack Dunn are linking up really well. I'm actually contemplating the need to not bother trying to just nice in there. Not bothering to try and acquire Craig Furness. Maybe see if I can get him on loan again, because that's worked out really nice. But I don't feel the need to go out and acquire him because Dunn and Robinson are really linking up very nicely there. Unfortunately, Stephen Potter in the 84th minute starts off on a free kick, just really nice direct, catches us flat-footed. I don't know what the hell everybody's doing there. He runs right by everybody, slots it into an open net because we're all picking daisies and staring at the wall. And it's 1-1. And then Carl Stewart, unfortunately does something similar to us here. No one's paying attention to him. Willis doesn't even attempt at it, puts it in the back of the net, and that's all she wrote for this one. So we go down under a lot of pressure, and we drop some more points in this one. So that's it for this highlight, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Okay, guys, so just to keep up our longest losing streak of the season, we are now at 4 losses on the bounce here with this loss to Crew Alexandra. It was more even, but again, we were ineffective. This one, we played better, at least from an average rating perspective, but I think the center back ratings were skewed by the assist and the goal, unfortunately. Penny back was a huge help. I think Stuart Brown played pretty well, but I think Ross Watts' rating was way bumped up by what he did with the goal, sort of artificially in that one. So Lewis Dunk gets them opened up in the 6th minute, and they did all their halftime before we started trying to claw stuff back. Again, just another one of these sort of melees that we can't get cleared. He sort of pulls his way around, gets himself a little bit of space, and buries it in the back of the net. Will Russo, just before the half, gets one back. I mean, really, the last dying second. Over the top, unfortunately, and one-on-one just keeps his composure and finds a good spot. And that's it for the half, and they're up 2-0 at this point. So Ross Watts does get one back on a corner kick here. Again, sort of really absurd, but okay, fine, whatever, we'll take it. But we were really grossly ineffective on the day, so we started trying to throw things at them, but it didn't really work. And unfortunately, we go down to our 4th loss, and that's unfortunate because it's basically locked us into where we're going to be at for the end of the season. So I think this sort of 12th through 15th is where we're going to finish up. Comfortably in the middle. Unfortunately, I would have liked a little higher, but I like what I see from the team. Like I said, I think we fixed some defensive depth issues, and we're good to go. I think next season we're going to really be competitive. So that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, guys, so this is the feature game of the month on the road against Walsall, and we got the band back together, and other than a crap performance from Cameron Borthwick-Jackson in the first half, we brought Stuart Brown on in the second half, and that fixed a lot. We were just fantastic in this one. We did everything we could have possibly done. We absolutely put them to the sword, beat the hell out of them. It gives me a lot of confidence in the starting 11 that we have out there, which lets me know that most of the work that we're going to do is flushing out some of the guys in the background and fixing our backup situations in a lot of cases, and we're going to be in good shape next year, and we should at least be in the conversation for promotion, beating another good mid-table side like this. So let's jump in and look at the extended of this particular fun. So off and running out of the game here, and it was a little confusing out of the start because I thought we were in red and I got really nervous. Nice weighted pass right into Holmes. He's not the strongest shooter. It's something I'm thinking about. I'm content because he generates a lot of assists. Diallo doing his thing there. So I'm looking forward to Diallo getting some more time in the squad and really starting to sink in that midfield role and start improving and sort of playing game in and game out, really starting to improve. just awesome work from Durnley there. That's the kind of stuff he brings to the squad. Gets into a lot of space, gets a beautiful looping header to Robinson. He puts it in. We're in good shape out of the gate. But I'm on the fence. Holmes brings a lot in terms of assists. That was just Michael Caine, a midfielder we had looked at during the year. Unfortunately, he comes back to sort of hose us. I'm not going to go out of my way looking for a left wing. See, like those are the kind of moves where a stronger, better left wing would pay off. But in this case, it doesn't. So I'm going to take a peek, but I'm not going to go out of my way. He does generate a lot in assists. 14 assists is still pretty solid. I'm not gonna go run around and say, oh God, he's terrible. But there's little things that that can make the difference and sort of tip the balance, and it makes us. It does make us. I don't know what the hell that one was, but we'll take it. But some of his deficiencies make us a little one-dimensional. Like if we're really going to play down a wing, if he's not on or if he's marked or covered, it makes it very, very difficult for us to be sort of play down both wings. We end up having go down Durnley's side, and then if they can focus us on that one, it becomes very, very difficult for us to break out, and we end up being incredibly one-dimensional. Callum Robinson missing an absolute golden opportunity. He just sort of pulled up, and I don't quite understand why, which is irritating. Diallo in there, a couple of good opportunities. I'm happy. I'm glad to have him into the side and locked down for a while, so we're going to see what he does. Durnley doing what he does best. But I am interested in seeing how Diallo develops into this squad. He has played reasonably well, enough that I like him for that spot. I'm pretty comfortable with what we've got in terms of midfielders and our midfield rotation options with Danny Sharp, Harley Black, Ethan Robson, and Saido Diallo there. So I'm really quite happy with what our midfield is doing, and I don't feel any particular urge to change it. Dunn keeps doing things like that, and he will always have a place in the squad and in my heart here. Because I do love me a good goal scorer. But that false nine role, I think he's really started to make it his own. I think he's got a better, more consistent scoring rate than Furness did. Furness is a little streaky. I'd like to get the streakiness out of the side. So I may let Furness go and see if I can't find... I may find see if I can find a backup striker to kind of keep on the bench to kind of rotate around with Robinson and Dunn. But Robinson and Dunn are clearly the upfront pair. That's not an issue. I'm not going to break them up. I'm really happy with Finney and Brown. I think they're playing very well together. So I think if I can find, if I find a good, I need to find some backups across the back line. I think what I'm going to do, and I've been contemplating it a bit, and I have some more thinking to do on the subject, but I think Cameron Borthwick-Jackson is going to be the backup left back. And then I'll look for potentially one, or at least one, potentially two center backs, and a backup right back, and then a left wing and a striker, a backup striker would be the two things I would look for, or the four players I would be looking for, 3 to 4 players that I would be looking for in the summer transfer window. In this one, and then if I can manage to pull out any extra cash into nice robbery from Robson there, and finds Robinson and buries that in the back of the net. So if I can, depending on what I can do from a cash situation, we'll have to see. In there, I'm going to raid the free transfer market because we've been doing that fairly successfully. So I'm not terribly upset to keep doing that. We may bag the left wing and just kind of ride things out with what we've got. Again, it's hard. I mean, Holmes has good production, so it's hard to kind of argue with him. 13 assists this year. It's hard to argue that he's a solid assist man. But like I said, it's all those little nagging things. The strength and balance, the misses, the poor shot skill, that kind of stuff. There, he's all by himself. He's out there, has a good opportunity, and just can't do anything with it. Yeah, decent, decent corner man. I'm not gonna say that I think he's horrid, um, but it's just the little stuff, and it makes it difficult. It makes you think. Diallo turns in a decent fire there. It just keeps you thinking about things, and that's really, I'd like to sit down. And the other thing that's weighing heavily on me is that I'd like to sit down and do a big youth investment, but I'm not really sure it's going to pay off because we don't really have the facilities to get those guys to really get those guys developed and to let them reach their full potential. So I'm kind of concerned it may be a little bit of a waste. So I may not even bother. We have some hot prospects. Nice one. That one was nice from Holmes, and it's hard to argue there. I think I'm tempted to steer clear and just avoid wasting the money on players who potentially could become something good because we're just not in a position to develop them. If I can keep focusing on first team investment, kind of get facilities and things like that of the first team up. Although we're kind of seriously in the red right now. We have terrible game attendance. We're 24th in the league. We're very, very reliant on cup runs at this stage of the game in order to kind of fund. We're very reliant on the solidarity payments and cup runs to pay the rent, which is disappointing. I mean, it makes it a lot more difficult, especially since we're not in a position where we're really able to make these kind of big investments in the club. So, we'll have to see. I think we have to be judicious with how we're spending cash. Nice one from Dunn there. He manages to get himself on that one for a nice round 15 goals for the season to this point. So I'm really super pleased with how he's worked out. I know the club has spent some time pining for Freddie Tracy. I took a look. He is at Crawley. He's played 12 times for them, and he's only scored, I think it's 2 goals in 12 games for them, which is consistent with what we saw. He's only averaged about a 6.6 in the league game. So it's very consistent with what he saw, that when he wants to score, he'll go out and score in bunches, but if he's not interested in scoring, he just doesn't do it. So that's it for this one, guys. Walsall 1, Truro City 6, and I will see. Okay, guys, last episode of this season is coming up next. We got Luton, going to be a tough one. Wigan, another tough one. Leicester is a team we ought to beat the pieces out of. Fleetwood, another team we should win. And Oldham Athletic, a game we should win. So 2 tough ones left, and then 3 pretty straightforward games, which we should be winning on the run in to end our League One season, our League One debut season. In this one. So remember, guys, if you do like the video in the series, please leave a like on the video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for some more content to watch, check out Paul's Creating a Legacy series. He has some awesome stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. Some big doings going on with him, so go check that one out. And if you need to catch up, please do check out the rest of the White Tigers Rising series, and I will see you next time for the wrap-up of Season 8. See you then, guys. Bye now.